Hi there, and welcome to Wednesday night. It is Q&A Wednesday on Facebook Live, and we are here to talk about exercise tonight. So, hey, really quick, first of all, I have to show you my really cool shirt. And so there you go. I know it's backwards, right? Because I'm facing me with my phone. But I just wanted to show you because a wonderful, wonderful woman named Marilyn Stredwick gave it to me. So I just wanted her to know that I'm wearing it tonight. I feel pretty badass. It says #1 coach. So, you know, that's kind of fun when people give you things and they appreciate you. So I just wanted to share that. But welcome, welcome. I don't know about you. I'm freezing. My took us off and it's been rough few days. I don't know how it just got so cold so fast. I literally, no joke, wore a blanket to my hair gal's place this morning. I walked in and she is like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "You know what? If this is what it takes to get through the day, this is what's going to happen." Because I am cold and I'm in the house even right now and my fingers are frozen. They're so cold they hurt. Everybody else is fine. It's just me. I'm just weird. I know. Okay, enough complaining about the weather. So I picked this topic this week because I had a couple things happen with some people, some super sweet people, but one of the things that I found was that there's some really strange unrealistic expectations when it comes to exercise. And I want to kind of approach that and talk about it. I also want to talk about the importance of how to stay motivated when it comes to exercise. I know sometimes that's a struggle. Especially cardio is not my favorite. We have a love-hate relationship. And so I want to talk a little bit about how to stay strong on that and what your focus should be in order to stay motivated. Because I think sometimes when I have a scenario for you, so hopefully that will kind of bring some things to light. So let's talk a little bit about what exercise is. Exercise is the getting up, getting moving. It's activity. And for some people, their daily life includes a lot of activity. I always like to joke that my life is cardio. And no joke. I mean, I can tell you, I can show you on Fitbit, right? And for some people, they don't realize that they're not moving as much for whatever reason, whether their job is very sedentary. That's why, of course, it doesn't even have to be a Fitbit. I know a Fitbit costs, but it can even just be an inexpensive pedometer that kind of teaches you, wow, I'm not even getting 3,000 steps a day. I'm pretty sedentary at this point. Maybe some activity is necessary, right? But let's talk a little bit about that because you know me. For those of you that have been listening to me, you know I preach balance. And that is super important because, again, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. We already know that. You can't out-supplement a bad diet. But it also, when things take a turn for the weird, okay? So something like, say that you are ill, you're sick, and you can't exercise. Is that an end-all, be-all? No, because at that point when you have, say you're sick or maybe you're injured, something happens, you can't exercise, you broke a leg, we've got an injury, a shoulder injury, something. That's not an end all be all because there's other things that you can do to kind of take place of what you would have been doing, right? Case in point, every time somebody comes to me and says, "I'm really, really sick, how can I make this work? I can't exercise." I'm like, that's okay. Focus on what you do have control over right now, which is your food and your sleep, right? If you're sick, the two things that you need to do is make sure that you're feeding your body so that it has the ability to burn that sickness out of you or to heal. And you also need sleep in order to refuel, right? So again, there's a few things that you have to pay attention to, and one of them is making sure that your balance across the board is correct, depending on what's going on in your life. You got to make sure that you are, if you have the ability, you do have to move a little bit more. Cardio, strength training, it doesn't have to be crazy. And we're going to talk about how if you're just starting, you probably shouldn't be going crazy. It shouldn't be intense. And if you have an injury or if you have some former issues, you need to pay attention to that. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't exercise? No, it just means you need to take those things into consideration and make sure that you are addressing them when you do exercise so that you don't exacerbate any issues. Making sure your nutrition is at least in check, making sure you're getting sleep, and then, of course, making sure that you are doing some stress reduction and making sure you're paying attention to your mental and emotional health, which, as of all of you know, that's the hardest part. So just want to tell some people, hi, Kenny, and thanks for hopping on, Melissa. I really appreciate that you guys hop on. I feel for some odd reason it is my mission to teach the world what's going on, because it's so frustrating to get people into me and they're like, okay, well, I just can't figure out why I can't lose weight. I can't figure out why this is not working. And when we start getting down to the basics as to what they're doing, then they start going, well, but I heard that 1,200 calories is what I should be eating. I'm like, but if you weigh 200 pounds, 1,200 calories is not enough food. So really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach all this garbage that media teaches us is just not true. And if you really want your body to do what it's supposed to, and if you really want to have a healthier, happier body, you need to actually listen to science and not all the garbage that we're hearing. And like I said, these days on Instagram, everybody's a flippin' expert. So yeah, you can listen to these teeny little boppers that are showing their butts everywhere, that have absolutely zero message. Be my guest. They might be cute, but there's no content. So, it is what it is. So thank you, Martin. I appreciate the compliment. Oh, that's super sweet. Hi, Sean. I'm glad that you're there. I know I don't even know what time it is though, over in Tennessee. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. First of all, if you haven't heard me say this, I want you to pay attention to this. Okay. It's got a funky hair hanging up here. You can write it down, but it makes absolute sense. Nutrition determines size. Exercise determines shape. Okay. Can you lose weight or shrink yourself without exercise? Yes. Yeah, you can. If you burn more calories in a day than you eat, you can get smaller. Thanks, Colleen, right? I say it all the time. Instagram is, Pinterest is worse, believe it or not. So if you burn more than you eat, you can shrink your physique. Okay. You can. That's how that works. It goes that direction. However, you might not be cute. I've seen lots and lots of gals who are super, super skinny, but they have no muscle tone, right? I no offense, I don't find that attractive. I do believe they call that skinny fat. So just because you're trying to lose weight, we got to talk about what's important here. And what's important is I would rather talk about losing fat or burning fat. So nutrition determines size, exercise determines shape. So if you do some of both, you're going to get better results than if you try to do one or the other. Even if it's just a little bit in both directions, you're going to have a more efficient, effective response from your body than if you try to do cardio every day for 90 minutes. It doesn't work. Your body's going to become very efficient at it. You're not going to burn as many calories. So, keep that in mind that, again, we're talking about balance. And it also depends on what your goal is. I said in my topic when I posted this yesterday, is it necessary to do exercise? And the answer, of course, is yes and no. It depends on your goal. I mean, really, if your goal is just solely weight loss, which, again, I'm not a fan of, you can do it without exercise. But that doesn't give you those extra health benefits that exercise can give you. Now, I grew up not enjoying exercise. I was not athletic. In high school, I tried. I'm sure biggest dork ever. I'm just telling you. I wasn't good at it. I didn't grow up athletic. I didn't really do a whole lot of organized sports growing up. And I really struggled. And I'm short. So, exercise was like, take it or leave it. It took until I was almost 34, 35 years old to kind of find I found what worked for me. So yeah, it's really kind of a struggle to figure out what is best for you when it comes to exercise, but there's huge benefits. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay. And really quick, let me step back and say, hi, Douglas. Let me step back and say that, for some people, if you're just starting out, all the exercise you may need at the moment is just to move more. If you're extremely sedentary, if you're just starting, if you're extremely overweight, if you are like, I was obese. For me to just jump up and run a race would have been absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, it wouldn't have motivated me to keep going because I would have, even once I did start running at one point, it hurt. At 42 years old, to be honest, I don't want to run. I don't like how it feels. My hips don't like it. I have other ways of getting my cardio in that are way more fun and interest me much, much more than running. So, for you, it may just be move more. And if that, like I said, if that includes getting a Fitbit or an inexpensive pedometer just to see if you're taking more steps in a day, or maybe you're taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator, that's a start. You have to start somewhere. So don't think that killing yourself on a stair stepper for 45 minutes every morning, if you've never even climbed on one, is the way to go. It's probably not. Just get up and move more. Start somewhere. Start where you can. Okay, so what does exercise do? Now, you'll notice I already know, you and I both know, that there's already plenty of health benefits from exercise. I'm not even going to touch those, okay? Because here's the deal. For most people, those are not motivating. What ends up happening is we start exercising because we want to lose weight or change our physique. And then when we don't change our nutrition, we're not getting enough sleep, we're not doing some of these other things, we don't start to see the physical results that we expect. Then we start to get frustrated and we stop exercising because we think, well, it didn't get me where I want to go. Okay, well, that's not the right motivation to start exercising. So here's some benefits of exercise that might help you stay motivated. Number one, it enhances happiness and a sense of well-being. Is that not just a benefit enough? I mean, I don't know about you, but even in the last 2 weeks, especially with this time change, it's a struggle. The skies are gray, it's cold out, which of course Melissa doesn't love, and all of a sudden it's a struggle just to feel happy and energetic. Sometimes just getting into a good workout, whether that's, going to a class, a boot camp, whether that's, I love kickboxing. I've been enjoying kickboxing with my daughter. I like how I feel when I exercise. So even if my body's not changing as fast as I'd like it to, just how that makes me feel, and I feel better, I feel more confident. I like that. That's a great motivator to keep going and to keep exercising, okay? It provides stress release, okay? Again, you're talking to a girl who used to down a bag of M&Ms when she was feeling like garbage. So it doesn't quite work. If you have an alternative, and why not make that alternative a great option in order to get you where you want to go? So sometimes I have my best workouts when I'm totally angry. I've had a rough day, somebody's been not very nice to me, whatever. I just put my earphones in and I go to town and I just lift those weights. Kickboxing is a really good one for that too. Way back when I very first started to change my transition, change my life, whatever you want to call it, I actually went to a kickboxing class way back then, and I would put the picture of whoever frustrated me most on the bag. So we'd do these 3-minute rounds of just continuous punch in the bag and kick in the bag, and I just took out my aggression. It was a great stress release versus, again, eating for stress release and comfort. That's not the best option. So that's a good one. Another great one that I don't think a lot of people think of, you can actually build some really great relationships. And whether that's from attending classes at the gym because you like, whatever, the aerobics classes or the kickboxing classes or whatever you're going to, spin classes, or even, swim, doing some swim aerobics or, but you meet people that are like-minded, and then all of a sudden you have this group of peers that can help support you and motivate you. You might have a group of people that are waiting for you to hit the gym to work out, and so you can't back out. That's your accountability, right? You have to show up. So that's a great one. Working out or having some exercise makes you feel more productive. And I don't know about you, but to me, that's huge. Like, I love a sense of accomplishment. I love thinking, got my workouts done today. I feel good. That's huge. Again, it keeps you motivated. It keeps you going. You don't get to the end of the day and feel like, I missed it again, right? Confidence. Okay. And I don't care who you are. When you look good, you feel good. It's not just the benefits of the exercise. It's also how it makes you feel when you get to the gym. I always tell people, when I first started out, I would slink into the gym in my baggy clothes and I would do my 30 minutes of elliptical, which, kicked my butt at the time. And then I'd slink back home. Right? Now I walk into the gym and my first thought is, okay, who can I kick off out of the free weight section? Because I need some dumbbells. And of course, I'm not usually that mean, but they tend to scatter when I come. But you know what? I have confidence. I know how to use the equipment. I know how to get in there. I know how to walk in and get a great workout. And usually I just find it hilarious at this point. Usually people are staring because it's like, oh, a girl knows what to do with weights. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. And have some muscle, did you see? So confidence is great. And that actually spreads into other areas of your life as well. So I think that that's a great reason to keep exercising. It can also help. And of course, notice I haven't talked a whole lot about I haven't talked anything really about physical. Yeah, it's going to change your shape. It's definitely going to have some great health benefits towards prevention of illness. It can actually help alleviate some issues that you might be having and some health problems. Of course, they talk about how losing 10% of your body, or 10% of your body weight, thank you, can actually take you out of the running to get some major health issues like heart disease and diabetes. So, there's definitely some things there, but you can also help prevent some other things. And even just think about it, strength training, bone density. What a great option. I already know that osteoporosis runs in my family. So for me, strength training is a huge way of me preventing some of those issues that I know that my family in the past has had. So I'm motivated because I don't want to be at that point in my life where I can't move. I can't be independent. I definitely don't want to hit that point. So I'm definitely motivated from a couple of directions, but most of us find that when we have a positive motivation, like how it makes us feel, that we're much more likely to stick with it in the long run versus waiting for the scale to tell us what the results are. And then of course getting frustrated and thinking, well, why did we bother? So again, you can do exercise and not necessarily see the results in your body. Usually you're going to feel it, but you have to make sure that you're making those efforts across the board as well. So, as we get older, I work with a lot of older people that come into me and their doctor says, hey, you know what, I've got to have some core strength because, my balance is terrible. Why not prevent that now? It really can help us keep us independent as we get older and have a great quality of life. And I think that that's important for all of us. I don't know about you, but I want to be the grandma climbing rocks and doing all those great things. So it looks like, Sean and Amanda, you guys are cute. Yeah, you guys are just cute. So, hi guys. Okay. So, so we talked a little bit about, your nutrition versus the exercise, that if you're at a point where, you can't necessarily, and that comes with life as well. Life balance is tough. You're never going to find a completely balanced life because as soon as you do, it changes, right? So sometimes you're going to have to do more exercise because it's Christmas time and you're eating a little bit more. And sometimes you're going to have to rein back on the nutrition because you can't get the workouts in like you did before. So again, you can balance that. That's an important thing to remember, that it's not always, don't stress over the fact that you can't make it to the gym 5 days a week. Get it all in the 3 that you can do when you can be there, and then make sure that you're just moving at home a little bit. So you can balance that out. And if you don't have the gym, there's so much you can do at home. It doesn't have to be a gym atmosphere. Now, I like to be at the gym because if I'm home, I get really easily distracted. So even if and I do have some of my own equipment, but I find that once I'm at the gym, I have 2 options. I'm either going to work out or I'm going to go home. I can't fold laundry while I'm there. So that works best for me. But if you might just enjoy doing things with the kids. I know I had one of my gals from the couples challenge really frustrated because she's got little kids at home. Okay, so use that. You know what? Have a dance-a-thon. Do a challenge where you set a timer in each room and you have 15 minutes to clean that room, and whoever, whatever, does the most or has the most fun, gets a prize. I don't know. Make it interesting. Be creative, because it's not always about a formal exercise routine. Sometimes it's just about enjoying what's around you. So no excuses, guys. Here's the deal. You either want it or you don't. But I do want to say that, exercise, even if I work with people with injuries all the time, even core strength can be built by doing some minimal activity, right? So it doesn't have to be crazy and intense, and not everybody can handle that. You have to start somewhere light, okay? All right, so here's my tips for tonight. I'm freezing right now. So again, we talked about do what you can, because anything is better than doing absolutely nothing, right? I find it really funny that people struggle with it because they don't have time to get to the gym. And I'm like, but you weren't doing that before. How about just do something in the house? Again, something's better than nothing. And it could be, hey, you take the stairs at work instead of the elevator. Hey, you park back a little ways so you have to walk. Find ways to stay active or moving without necessarily having to, like I said, have a formal workout. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Again, do it because it makes you feel good, not because you're trying to lose weight or just change your body. Because again, if you're focused solely on losing weight, you know how I feel about the scale. The scale does not tell you enough. One of these, I should pop up. I have a picture from when I was first walking down from the weight the first time, where I was 130 pounds. And I was super happy. I was pretty soft at the time, but I was really, really happy. I'd kind of figured things out. I hadn't been that size since probably high school. And then I have another picture 5 years, 6 years later at 130 pounds, and I don't look anything like I did. I'm much, much smaller. I'm probably, I think in the first picture, I'm like a size 6, maybe even an 8. In the second picture, I'm a size 2. So again, weight means nothing, right? Do you want to be smaller or do you want to lose weight? Because they don't always go together. Remember what's important, okay? So again, losing weight when that scale doesn't move is not going to be your motivation for exercise. All those other things that we talked about are, okay? And again, find what you enjoy. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of aerobics classes because I have 2 left feet and I feel like a huge dork. So, you know, that's just not my gig. Now, once in a while, I'll do a spin class because I like it because it's challenging and it's different because I do get bored. But that's not always my thing. I tend to do things like, you know, one of the gyms I'm at has a spin bike. So I'll go in there and turn up the music and I'll do my own, you know, turn up the level and then turn it back down and then turn up the level and turn it back down. And I'm sweating to death by the time I'm done. And I like how that feels. And I can get everything done in 20 minutes versus 35 or 40. So hello, Dan. How are you? So again, figure out what works for you, whether it's running, whether it's biking, whether it's swimming. You know, for someone who's really struggling, maybe when I was a little bit heavier, you know, it hurt to walk. It hurt to do a lot of aerobic activity because I was putting a lot of weight on my feet. You know, swimming's a great one because it takes that weight off, that pressure off your body. It makes it a little bit easier. So again, is exercise necessary? I'm going to tell you yes, to some degree, depending on who you are, where you're starting, and what your goals are. Just remember that no matter what you choose to do, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to feel the results before you see them. Your clothes are going to tell you more than the scale, right? And you have to remember, this isn't about how quickly you can take it off. It's about how long can you keep it off. It's about putting systems in place that make it a lifestyle change, not just this temporary New Year's resolution. I'm going to do it for 3 months and go back to my old habits. That doesn't work. It doesn't work in the long run. Trust me, been a yo-yo dieter for most of my adult life. So I get it. Now, if you have any questions, hopefully that motivates you and helps you understand that, like I said, if you're going at 0 right now, try going at 1 or 2. Don't go at 50. It's not going to work for you. Hopefully it motivates you to get up and just move a little bit more, to do something. It's all about just being healthy. And if you wait till someday, you know, that could be now you on the couch instead of being able to be independent and have a great quality of life. And of course, that's not what I want for you. So anyway, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have great topics for me to talk about, again, I'm here for you. I love people. I just want you to get up and move and feel good and feel better about yourself. Please either leave a comment below. You can message me through Facebook. You can also email me at melissa@fillmorefitness.com. And until later, we'll see you then.